Oh my god, you guys. One Piece 1159 called The Island of Destiny. Of course, what are we talking about? We are talking about God Valley. And in this chapter, it is absolutely crazy the amount of information that we got throughout this chapter. So hear me out. In the first cover page, we of course still get the story of Yamato in Wano Kuni, and she's still going through on her adventure and everything, because now she's got some affiliated people to her. So the group is heading back to the flower capital, chowing down on some apples. But then as soon as you jump to the first page, for example, it says 39 years ago on the Hachinosu Island, meaning the pirate island, for example, hell broke loose, basically. And we understand that from here, one of the Rock's pirates, called Don Marlon, actually got murdered. And from there, he was actually the one responsible for the protection of basically Shakuyaku. And you discover that, boom, somebody kidnapped Shakuyaku. And here we go. One of my first theories getting actually approved in one of my videos too, guys. So go back and check one of my videos about Shakuyaku being the secret treasure of Hachinosu. So yeah, that is confirmed. But in here, we discovered that Shakuyaku got captured. We don't know yet per se. But by the end of the chapter, we know who actually came to Hachinosu and who murdered Don Marlon and who kidnapped Shakuyaku by the end. We know all of that right now. And it said that it only took the perpetrating party a few hours, but they left behind with no trace. The pirates were distraught and shaken with rage. Word spread across the seas, and the people sank into deep despair, their smiles fading as the world's economy ground to a halt for several weeks. So you understand that as soon as everybody around the world, especially on Hachinosu Island, you can see Gloriosa crying, you can see the other fox lady that's also like crying a little bit about this whole situation. And then you've got also some pirates from the Hachinosu Island that are crying as well. And on another part of the seas, you also got Goldie Roger, who's like, how could you, Rocks, how could you not protect her in this kind of case or whatever? And even Ray Lee is like shaking about it. He's like, I don't know what to do in this kind of situation, you know. But then 1 year later, God Valley, West Blue. So Garling goes to actually God Valley, and he sees his wife. So we're talking about the red hair that he had a relationship with, you know. And from that relationship, she actually had Shanks and Shamrock. And so basically here, she's like, yeah, I always knew you'd come back, Shanks, it's your father. And as she's showing him Shanks and Shamrock, she's like, why don't you stay here with me? And he's like, well, if we were to share a home, it certainly wouldn't be here. This island won't be around much longer. Besides, I've already secured a worthy bride for myself and placed the order. She will be mine provided I triumph in the upcoming tourney. Tourney? And as soon as you jump to the next page, you actually see St. Garling literally stabbing the woman that he literally had Shamrock and Shanks with. Basically, he does not care about her whatsoever, and basically the best opportunity he had to do whatever he needed to do is right now and right here by doing whatever he did. Like, come on. Saint Garlic is pretty evil, I am telling you. But those celestial dragons, they are on another level of understanding. They don't understand the proper meaning of a relationship. They just understand the proper status. That's what I believe. And from there, Saint Garling is like, begin the preparations. And you get some Navy ships from the world government that are coming to God Valley, and you get basically all of the Marines to get there. And then you get a funny character that's talking to the Lieutenant Commander, and he's like, Lieutenant Commander, what exactly is the goal of this operation? And he's like, it's a training exercise. Now zip it. You're 10 years too early to be questioning orders, cadet. And he's like, but squad leader, what's the deal with this upstart? And then another Marine is like, my apologies, he's still training. But from this scene, we understand that we are talking to actually Monkey D. Dragon, the future Supreme Commander of the Revolutionary Army, and also father of Luffy, future king of the pirates. So hey, this is basically the moment where we get to see Monkey D. Dragon following orders from his higher ups, and he's got his personal opinion about everything that's going on, but he's still like, I don't approve of this, but I still gotta do it, you know. And he's like, oh, so we're gonna be using tranquilizer rounds, so it shouldn't kill anyone. So even from that perspective, and he's like, still, okay, I'm not gonna kill civilians, but at least, you know, it will tranquilize people, all of that. And he's still following orders. So from Monkey D. Dragon's perspective, hey, he was maybe just as in the same spot as basically back in the war, where he was like, this is not okay. Like, we should stop whatever we're doing, because going further means we're just evil at this point. And he's like, sorry, if you let me detain you, I won't shoot you. And then people around, civilians are like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm leaving this island. Out of my way. But as soon as they're like out of my way, Dragon shoots basically, and he's gotta follow the orders because he's a marine. And as he turns his head around, he can see that out there, out far in the seas, there is actually a navy, that's a navy ship called the Navy prison ship that's transporting slaves that's coming towards God's Valley. And he's probably in the next pages, he's bringing Kuma, he's bringing Ivankov, and also Genie. And from this perspective, we can also see that they are already planning their escape and already thinking of what they were gonna do. So for example, Genie is telling Ivankov, big bro, Genie, you're safe, what a relief. And Genie's like, I did it. Now it's up to the informant to relay it. So basically the operation was already on, and she already sent the message to the informant so that the informant releases all of the information. And I'm believing that the informant in here is Morgans, because right in the next page we can see that Morgans, he is already the president of the World Economic Journal, and he also already has his devil fruit power. I don't know how old he is already in this shot, but he looks pretty freaking young. And in here, we can already see that he is actually talking to some of the Cypher Pole Intelligent Bureau members. And basically, he is talking to those members and he's telling them, hey, I've got some pretty good information and I'm probably gonna release it. And they are scaring him of saying that if he releases it, basically he's gonna be disappear or whatever, and he's just some kid running a local paper with a fancy name. And Morgan has basically legendary confidence, I believe, because at this point, and he's talking to the to some of the members of the Cypher Pole, and he's like, just try and stop me, fools. I'm gonna leak news to the pirate island either way. And as he leaked the information to Hachinosu, now everybody on the Hachinosu island is like, oh, so we know where she is and we know how we need to go basically get her. And everybody in the Rocks Pirates are getting excited about actually going and getting her. And at the same time, even Whitebeard is like, the Celestial Dragons human hunt? I always figured that was a baseless rumor. But then you also get the shot of Big Mom and Kaido, and they're talking to each other saying, looks like they're putting devil fruit up for grabs too, huh, Kaido? Didn't you want one? And Kaido is like, what do these ones do? So he's pretty much interested by even going to God's Valley and maybe getting himself a new devil fruit power, you know? And at the same time, Rocks is like, if you've got cold feet, you can just stay behind on the island. Let's move, God Valley awaits. And so from this perspective, we are understanding that Rocks pretty much is going to go and free Shakuyaku, because she is basically the pure treasure of Hachinosu Island in a way. But then, just hear me out, because there's going to be a twist throughout the end of this chapter. Next, we jump to the Roger Pirates, and the Roger Pirates are like, Gaban, where's God Valley? And Gaban is like, yeah, it's pretty far, but we can probably make it in time. And he's like, so then what are you waiting for? Let's go save Shakuyaku. And so from that perspective, Rocks is already on the move, and Goldie Roger says he can't let it go that quick, you know? So it was an unlikely turn of events, but this small leak led to the mobilization of all of the toughest men on the seas. For example, next shot, you get Garp saying, lead with that next time, I'm on my way, because it seems that Roger is heading there too. So now we go back to the rocks, and the rocks are actually facing Harold's crew on the seas. And Harold is basically being nice to Rocks, and he's just basically letting him know, hey, they're like, yeah, there's a government ship over there like spying on us or whatever. I'm just letting you know. And Rocks is like, he's like, so you're still trying to curry favor by playing the government's lapdog? You may be king of the overgrown brutes, but you're underestimating us. Basically, he's underestimating the Rock's pirates and all of that. And he's like, are you really content to let the government sit back and watch as we tear each other apart? You're nothing but a giant lunatic clinging to your deluded version of progress. Why don't we talk it out, just the two of us? And from there, boom, they started on sharing sake. And from that discussion, we get some pretty good information, guys. And I hope you are ready for this kind of information, because this is pretty heavy. I am telling you, as One Piece fans, this is pretty heavy, guys. So in that discussion, basically Rocks tells Harold that Rocks got a hidden name. And the hidden name is Davy the Chebec. So not even Rock the Chebec, but Davy the Chebec. And he's like, you're not really called Rocks? No, I reckon the world government has been trying to erase this specific name for a long time. It's tied to the lineage of the legendary pirate Davy D. Jones. The name still commands some influence in the underworld even now, but it's barely scraping by. So from here we understand that Davy is related to whatever the pirate from back then was called Davy D. Jones. There is a relationship in between them, like he's probably one of his oldest ancestor or something like that. And he says then, I ain't sure if the timing was good or bad, but 2 years ago, he had a kid, Blackbeard. To keep him totally safe, I sent my family away back to my hometown, told them to count on the Davy clan. So basically you understand that Rock the Chebec, aka Davy D. Chebec, is coming from the Davy clan. But the Davy clan, what is the Davy clan now? And then Harold is like, I see. So your wife and child are back in your hometown. But why are you revealing your weak spot to me? And then he's like, my hometown is God Valley. Oh my goodness. We understand God Valley is the hometown of a clan of people called the Davy clan, and Rocks actually comes from there. I should call him now Davy D. Chebec, but weird to call him Davy, but we'll get to it. So Davy is probably one of the ancestors of Davy D. Jones, probably. And we know from what we got in the sculptures and all of that from the One Piece world already, we understand that even the devil of this world sent himself, Davy D. Jones, and all of his riches and all of his treasures to the depth of the sea. So now all of this is getting kind of clear here and there. So hopefully we get to start picturing the whole picture in a way. And here he's like, why are you saying the government staged this just to lure you in? And he's like, no, the celestial dragons are gathering there, right? They wouldn't want me crashing their party. They just made a big mistake. So by saying that they just made a big mistake, I don't think they actually made a big mistake, but I really think that just like in the last chapter when we got Garling that was saying there's something way more valuable in that island that Im-sama would actually love. Now I'm probably thinking he was talking about this clan, the Davy clan that he found on God Valley. And I'm also thinking that since Shamrock and Shanks' mom is coming from God Valley, now I'm thinking that they are also members of the Davy clan in a way, Shanks and Shamrock, you know? And in a way, that's why also Shanks and Shamrock are called the Destined Ones in a way, because they are part evil, part good in a way, from what we understood, like part Davy clan and part celestial dragon, you know. Still, it feels like destiny is pulling me in, dragging me back. Taking Shaki was their biggest blunder. As long as I get my wife and kid to safety, I'll be at peace with whatever happens next. But it doesn't feel like luck is on my side anymore, Harold. Lend me a hand. So he asks Harold to come and fight with him. But Harold actually refuses, and there's a fight in between them. And the ship of the giants basically gets kind of crushed, you know, by the Rocks pirates. And it says, it's hard to believe, but every 3 years, the celestial dragons choose an affiliated nation rich in resources and turn it into a hunting ground where they slaughter all the natives for sport. And that's where we get to finally the event of God Valley, where we know what they actually did to all of the people. And in the latest page, we get actually a double page where we actually get to see Shaki, and she's in front of all of the celestial dragons, and basically she is the biggest prize of it all. And from here also, we understand that she got captured by actually somebody called Summers, and we all know Summers from Elbaf, and he's basically the one who went to Hachinosu, kidnapped Shakuyaku, killed Don Marlon, and escaped with her. And from here we also understand that they are pretty much all fighting just to get Shakuyaku as maybe a wife or a slave. We don't know. And everybody, including Saint Garling and another celestial dragon in here. But at the very end, we get a dragon that's going somewhere, and he sees somebody that tells him, please help my kids. You have to get them off this island. Don't let him take them. So I'm guessing that dragon had a secret transmission or whatever from somebody, and I'm probably guessing that he was in connection with Rocks, and basically Rocks told Dragon to, hey, go and save my son or whatever, because right after that he goes and he tells Teach, the future Blackbeard, he's like, come here, Teach, it'll be all right, you have to survive, basically. So we understood that Dragon is the one who actually saved Blackbeard / Teach when he was literally young, you know. And from here, every world novel knows the tourney features several super rare rabbits to hunt. This year, we've not only secured a brat from the Buccaneer tribe, but for the first time in 800 years, we've also uncovered members of the Davy clan. So they know about this, basically this clan or whatever. They know that basically they are the enemies of the world government and him and all of that. And they are basically here to wipe them all out. And basically that's what happened by the end. And from here, all I can say is, so the members of the Davy clan, I'm probably guessing that a long time ago, the Davy clan was probably coming from Davy D. Jones, that created his clan, or he was part of the Davy clan or whatever. And from there, his descendants are actually Rock the Chibek and Blackbeard in a way, and at the same time Shanks and Shamrock, half and half, you know, because they are half from their mother, and their mother is from God Valley. And if you're from God Valley, now I'm saying that you're a member of the Davy clan. And that also tells me why they wouldn't actually join the world government, and it also tells me why they actually had so many riches, because now that starts to confirm on their roots in a way and their origins in a way. So hopefully guys, with more information in the next chapters, we'll have more informations about all of this story and more story about God Valley and about all of the fights and all of that. And I will let you guys know in one of my next videos. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and your boy is going to see you on the next one. Peace.